I'm Laura Williams, and I currently play basketball here at USC.
And I'm Doug Williams, who just happened to be Laura's Williams' daddy. And I work for the Washington Commanders.
Okay, so obviously I was not alive when my dad was in his most prominent era of sports, but I will say the impact that it had has lasted. I know that he was the first African-American quarterback to start and win a Super Bowl and get MVP in that Super Bowl that year. And at that time, that was something that was like unheard of. Even now, like it's still a thing that's not super common, even though now it's becoming even more common because of what my dad did do. So I do know that, and I know how just interacting with people who are like fans of him or who see him out in public and stuff like that, I see like the impact that it truly had on people at the time, and I think that's really special.
Yeah, that's amazing. You know, like I say, she wasn't here when everything happened, but the most important thing, you know, it took him a while to really gravitate to what really transpired during that time. Because I remember when her and her sister Lee was younger, they didn't understand when we went places and people was always stopping me and they'd be looking up in my face like, Daddy, let's go. You know, they didn't understand the impact, but as they got older, you know, they realized who their daddy really was and what he's done in his sports career and how many people look up to him and how it resonated. I tell all the time about history. And one of the things that I told her about her being here at USC, you know, for me, it's almost like a dream come true, because when I was in high school, one of the institutions I wanted to go to, they had a coach here by the name of John McKay. And Coach McKay had the first African-American quarterback in Jimmy Jones to play back in 1968 and 69. So I felt like I wanted to either come to USC, I wanted to go to Grambling. And I was lucky enough to be able to do both. I went to Grambling and played for Eddie Robinson, who's one of the winningest coaches in NCAA history, and got drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and played for John McKay. So I got the best of both of my dreams. And to see her now, for me, you know, all the things that I accomplished in life is great. But to see her and her sister playing basketball and just to be able to come and sit in the stands and watch her play, it's like a dream come true, to be honest with you. And to me, that's kind of like history for me. It might not be for a lot of other people, but for me, it's kind of like history. And, you know, I don't want to say it was tough, but as I look back on it and I see documentaries and things like that, I really realized how tough it was. But coming up, my dad and my mom, you know, we didn't talk about racism, even though it was there. You know, I lived 35 miles at that particular time from the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan, David Duke, 35 miles. And things happened around us, but my mom and dad protected us from being involved in things like that, made sure we stayed close to the vest. And when I went out to play sports, I guess I had blinders on. I played basketball, baseball, and football, and never worried about what was going on outside. My dad used to always say, you only can control what you can control. And that's how we really looked at it, because everybody in my family, my brothers, sisters, everybody was involved in sports. And you know, that was the biggest thing in our family. So we didn't worry about what was going on outside. So I didn't know a lot about racism growing up at that time, but as I got older, I learned and just see some of the things that transpired during my time, and then I realized what I was really up against.
It definitely gave me a mindset that no matter like what type of setbacks or obstacles come towards me, you can push through it. Like, it's gonna be okay. You could still be successful. It doesn't matter what it looks like in the now. What you're working towards is so much bigger than how you feel at the moment. And I feel like watching my dad, just thinking about him going through all that and still being able to be where he is right now today is very inspirational to my goals and what I want to do.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing for her coming back from the injury. You know, I know what she pushed through. I've had a couple knee operations and things like that, and I know what it takes to get there. And I remember when she first hurt her knee, the first thing I told her, it was going to be a mindset. You know, it's one of those situations, sometimes you want to quit. You know, you don't want to go no further because of the injury. And I told her that in order to get there, she got to work. And I can say one thing, I saw her work, man, and it means a lot to me to know what she went through to get there. It's not like I went through all of the things that I had to deal with, but it's still something that can hold you back. And she made sure that it wasn't going to let her stop her from doing what she wants to do. And she's done an excellent job in coming back and sitting and staying, like I say, just to see her run up and down the court, for me, it's big for me just to see her do that. The way I help Laura is what I've done in life. And You know, Laura is one of those who just soak up certain things for herself, and she realized that, you know, my dad accomplished this, and this is what I want to do. I can remember when she first started playing basketball, and I can understand, I never thought I thought she was going to be a dancer, you know, because her mom had it in every little dance contest there was. So I thought that's what she was going to be, her and her sister. And she got into basketball, and you realize that's what she wanted to do, and you saw, you know, getting better each day. And I think it can come from what I've done in my life. And she said, hey, if it takes this to get it done, hard work, I'm going to do it. Hard work is something that she's not afraid of, and I'm glad of that. It's all about opportunity. I remember when I got drafted in 1978, one of the reporter asked Coach Robinson, what was it going to take for Doug Williams to make it in the National Football League? And Coach Robinson gave the man a one-word answer, and he said, opportunity. And I think opportunity is something that most Black Americans ask for as an opportunity. I'm fortunate enough to be working for the Washington Commanders at this particular time, and my son got signed a couple of weeks ago as the quarterback coach. That's something that don't happen in the National Football League. That's something that we wish would happen more. Quarterback coach, offensive coordinator, and head coaches. We just had 10 openings for a head coach's job in the National Football League, and at this particular time, you know, not one black candidate got an opportunity to be a coach. See, those are things that we go through, and you got to persevere, and you got to keep going forward. You can't give up, you can't quit. You got to keep knocking on the door, and hopefully somewhere, somehow the door is going to open.
I agree. I feel like people like my dad and just people who were given an opportunity and did what they could with it, open up doors for other Black Americans to get different opportunities, because I feel as though people assume maybe different things about what we might be capable of until it's done. And then it's like, okay, well, maybe we should give another one opportunity. So I feel like people like my dad definitely open those doors. I embrace it because I know my dad is proud of me, and I've never been afraid for people to bring him up because I'm also proud of my dad. If someone brings him up, I'm kind of just like, wow, like I just see the impact spreading, and it's just like, I want to be a part of that legacy, of course, like in my own way, because like we're different people, but I am like proud that I get to share that legacy with him.
You know, whatever you do in life is going to take a will, and that means you can't let anybody stop you from doing what you want to do. And at the end of the day, when we talk about leadership, the most important person that you can lead is yourself. And I think that's the bottom line of what you do with your life and how you succeed in the future is make sure you're the leader of yourself and don't let nobody else lead you.
I think that's good. Fight on!
Fight on!